You're listening to the Outer Banks This Week podcast, a place for people to hear what's going on up and down the beach and get the truth about what really goes on around the Outer Banks. So, here we go.
All right. Thank you so much, Lexi. Outer Banks This Week podcast, episode number 98. We are nearing that 100th episode, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have been so busy that I have not had an opportunity to really focus on this 100th episode. So, I have a little bit of an idea. And being as it's kind of like the dead of winter here on the Outer Banks, it is freezing out. Okay, it is very, very cold. The 100th episode is going to be in a couple of weeks. Okay, and yeah, it's kind of a monumental thing. We've made it to 100 episodes. I had some ideas that I was going to have my buddy Mr. Adam, who has been a religious listener, be a part of it. So what I'm thinking about doing is having a party for the podcast, but maybe waiting until like when things open up in like the mid-springtime and it's warmer out, and we could maybe do it somewhere like, I don't know, Fish Heads. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just kind of throwing some things out there because right now it's a little bit more difficult to try and schedule these things, simply because not a whole lot crack-a-lacking, not a whole lot of people here, not a whole lot open. You get what I'm saying? You follow where I'm going? Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Yeah. Okay. I felt like you might. So I'm going to talk to Mr. Adam, my buddy, my P1 listener, and I'm going to have him. He's got to be a part of it, dude. I'm telling you. And I think that we're going to wait until maybe the spring and then maybe do a celebratory episode. We'll call it the Outer Banks This Week podcast day or something. We'll make a celebratory day for it. There's a day for everything in the world. I think somebody was saying that it was like National Bobblehead Day the other day. And if that was the case, I have two bobbleheads on my desk. I've got a Rocky Balboa bobblehead, and I also have a Pee Wee Herman bobblehead. I'm very proud of that one, okay? It's, a Pee Wee Herman bobblehead. Yeah, no, you can't have it, so don't ask. But anyway, yeah, this is episode 98. Those are just some of my thoughts. It's 2025. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to each and every one of you, and thank you for continuously listening to the podcast and being a part of it. If you are a regular listener, man, I really want to give you shout outs. I really do want to acknowledge you for being one of our regular listeners. Podcast at outerbanksthisweek.com. Please email me. Please. I appreciate it when you do. And I really want to acknowledge you as one of the podcast P1 listeners, okay? Really want to do that. I was thinking just the other day about how with episode 97, I didn't really talk about any New Year's resolutions. I know that my New Year's resolutions, I've only had one that I've ever really kept to, and that was when I quit smoking back in late 2018. It was like December 31st, 2018 at like 10:30 at night. I had my last Marlboro Red, and I haven't had a cigarette since. I haven't vaped. I haven't done anything. I have not inhaled any foreign substance since that day, okay? Very proud of that. So that's like the only real like New Year's resolution I've ever stuck to. Other things that I've kind of just thought about is, different ways that I can cut spending, being slow to react to certain situations and just trying to kind of process what's going on before I react instead of having like a knee-jerk reaction. And just really looking at like some long-term goals of mine, not for just 2025, but beyond this year, just really trying to think about the long-term goals that I have for myself and my family and how I'm going to get there. Start trying to making those plans because I just turned 40. I'm old. When you get to 40, you'll understand, but I got to really start thinking about what I want to do in certain aspects of life moving forward. So with all that being said, those are just some of the New Year's resolutions, things I've been thinking about over the last, couple of weeks. I do want to welcome in today, he'll be here momentarily, a gentleman by the name of Jeremy Russell. Now, I know last week I had mentioned that I was going to try to get Mr. Joel to come back in here to talk about some big events that are going to be going on this upcoming year for 2025 that were already noteworthy that we needed to make sure we talked about. But he is actually on assignment right now. He is in the Naval National Guard. I think I'm saying that correctly. The owner of the Wreck Tiki Bar. Yeah, that guy, Mr. Joel. He's also a Patriot. And I'm pretty sure it's the Naval National Guard or Naval Reserve, Navy Reserve something. Anyway, he's on assignment this week, so he couldn't come in. So I reached out to my buddy Jeremy Russell, And he's a local musician. You've heard me talk about him in the past. He's going to join us today to talk about himself. I'm telling you, Jeremy, I've been knowing Jeremy for over 20, at least 25 years. And fantastic guy. So we'll get to talk to him and meet him in just a little bit. News, there's not really anything crack-lacking in the news other than it's cold and it's going to get colder. And it's going to stay cold. I don't think we're going to see temperatures get into the 50s again for a while. I was looking at like an extended forecast, and in the immediate future, we're looking at highs in the low 30s, like below freezing temperatures for the highs, and like super cold at night sort of stuff. So, I mean, it's that time of the year. We knew it was coming, but I mean, here it is. It's wintertime on the Outer Banks, and I can think of lovelier times. Like, I'm already thinking about like March and like April, springtime stuff already. You know what I mean? Like, I like to try to appreciate the seasons, but sometimes it's like, all right, this sucks. I'm just gonna say it like it is. This sucks. But not really anything, like I said, crack-lacking in the news. There was one thing. There was a boat fire at Pirates Cove Marina in Manteo, and of course, Sam Walker at SamWalkerOBXNews.com. Man, he covered it, and he's talking about it was a private boat on CDOC that caught fire around 3 o'clock. Oh, gosh, what was it, last Friday? Yeah, last Friday. What was the date of last Friday? I can't even think. The 3rd? Yeah, January 3rd. Luckily, it was just the fire was mainly contained to the boat. There was a little bit of damage in nearby pilings and a part of the dock, but there was some smoke damage, other parts of the other boats on the dock, but like it didn't spread to other boats. Now, little story I'll tell you in regards to boat fires, like that, they're not super common, but I can tell you firsthand, a boat that my father actually used to manage burnt all the way down one time due to the neighboring boat having some sort of malfunction in the heating elements on the boat. It caught fire and the wind was blowing in such a way that the boat, my dad's boat that he managed, called the Sea Jinx, it burnt completely down along with the other boat. So anyway, you can only imagine how that works. I've seen the aftermath. It is not pretty, y'all. So that was something that Sam Walker had covered that I felt like was kind of noteworthy to kind of mention, that there was a boat fire. Luckily, nobody was injured. Nobody was on board. And I'm sure the cleanup has been almost complete, if not already complete. And, thoughts and prayers to that boat owner, because I mean, Lord, can you imagine your boat that you put a lot of money into, that you've enjoyed and you've made memories on and everything like that, gone just like that. Well, that's about the only piece of news that I can think of that's noteworthy. But again, SamWalkerOBXNews.com, Grand Slam. Woo! Sam Walker, okay? SamWalkerOBXNews.com. Just a quick little recap of episode number 97. It was just me talking about my vision for the podcast this year and what I'd like to see happen in 2025 going forward. I mean, I've enjoyed a lot of the positive energy that has been generated this direction, and I want to keep it going. I mean, part of what I love to do is being out in part of the community and helping in the community and doing different things and touching all aspects of the community. This is my home. This is where I grew up, and I'm very, very passionate about it. Okay, I care very deeply about this area. So I want to continue to do everything I can do to help promote local businesses, to help grow local businesses, to help do things for the community and, the vacationers and the locals alike. I grew up in a very special place, y'all. I grew up in a very, very special place, and it took me a long time to realize that. And now I want to make sure that people that come here and enjoy this special place fit right in, fall right in place, and are able to just absorb it and soak it all in. Okay? That's part of what my vision is. So, all right, let's get off that soapbox. Captain Marty. Hey, look, lots of exciting things coming up with Captain Marty this year. We've got all different tiers of advertising with Captain Marty, with the Captain Marty Guide being part of his fishing reports, his stories. If you want to be a part of Captain Marty, you want to know more about Captain Marty, let me know. Podcast at OuterBanksThisWeek.com, and I will fill you in on the captain, okay? He's always looking for a single lady with a lot of hunting land. So if you're single with hunting land, ladies, the captain requests that you send a picture of the hunting land, okay? So That's the captain for you. So Captain Marty, again, you can listen to all of his fishing reports online at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. Going to take a quick break. I'm going to jump into some shout outs. I do have a few that I would like to give. We're going to do that in just a second. But hey, look, new year always means new me. Okay. People do that whole hashtag new year, new me. Well, you can become a new you at the Outer Banks Sports Club in Nags Head. They want to pump you up. Being healthy, a goal everyone should have for themselves, and at the Outer Banks Sports Club in Nags Head, it's a goal they take very seriously. Their mission is to help people from all walks of life achieve their personal health and fitness goals. Whether it be to lose weight, get stronger, increase speed and agility, or simply to improve your overall physical and mental health, the Outer Banks Sports Club is the gym for you. They offer the largest and best selection of fitness equipment throughout the Outer Banks, suitable for beginners through top-notch athletes. Visit them online at obxsportsclub.com to see their facility and to get signed up. The Outer Banks Sports Club in Nags Head, proudly keeping the OBX healthy and strong for over 15 years. I'll tell you what, Manny over at the Outer Banks Sports Club, he is a first-class guy, okay? The owner, he is fantastic. If you're looking to get in shape for 2025, go over to the Outer Banks Sports Club in Nags Head. Not even kidding. State-of-the-art equipment. It's a wonderful spot. I'm telling you, it's a great place. All right, let's jump into some shout-outs. And again, podcast at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. I want to give you a shout-out. I'd live to give you a shout-out. Well, that might be a stretch, but I really like it, okay? How about that? Podcast at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. I want to start with shouting out to the Brown family of Wanchis, okay? Mr. Bill Brown, his son, Ben, and his daughter, Elizabeth Bebe. We love Bebe, all right? She works out in Wanchis Marina. They actually were victims of a fire as well. Like I was talking about the boat that caught fire at Pirates Cove. Their house burned just last week as well. Actually, the same day on Friday. And fantastic people. They're trying to rebuild, trying to recoup, trying to start over in a lot of ways. Ben, the son, Bill's a commercial fisherman. His son, Ben, also a commercial fisherman, also a decoy carver, okay? Like his shop gone, they lost a lot of things. They lost everything. Trying to help them rebuild. If you're interested in helping with that process, let me know. Again, email podcast at OuterBanksThisWeek.com, and I'll help you get in touch with them and how you can assist in that process. There's lots of things that are going to be going on that I'll be talking about in the event section of the podcast that you can participate in to help with them. But I just want to give them a shout out and let them know, hey, look, the Outer Banks community, we're rallying around you. We love you. And whatever Justin can do, Justin will do to help you. Okay. So lots of love going to that family. Fantastic people there. Also, I want to shout out to the Wounded Warriors in Action Project. Now, you remember when I had Brooke Sparks come on to the podcast to talk about the Wounded Warriors in Action? Well, they are actually going to be here this coming weekend, okay, to go hunting, to go fishing, and all of those businesses that have participated in the process. I'm going to try to give a quick shout out to right now. Let me see. I got to find Brooke's Facebook page. Brooke Sparks, there she is, because she's been posting on a regular basis all of the individuals who have been helping. Brew Through's donating beer. There's so many. You know what? Go find Brooke Sparks on Facebook. Like her. Okay. Love her. All right. Wonderful person. Become friends with her. You want to know her. She's great. But she has, listed them all. There's so many. Kendra Pierce has given stuff. Pamela Smith, Andrea Sullivan over at Jolly Rogers has donated. The list goes on and on, but you know who you are. And there's been so many people that have poured back into this. Paul Sharon at Lost Colony Brewery, Carolina Barbecue Company right there on Highway 64 in Mania. All to show them a great time, the Wounded Warriors that are coming into town to go and have some fun. So they'll be here this weekend, and we thank you for all the local support that they've been receiving. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. Well, that's it for shout-outs. And again, I feel like a broken record, but if you don't know the email address to me by now, I'm going to give it to you again. Podcast at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we got Mr. Jeremy Russell coming in. Yes, Jeremy Russell is going to talk to us about all the entertaining he likes to do, the picking and grinning up and down the beach. and where you can find him, and also maybe some fun little questions for him, like, for the ladies out there, like, does he wear boxers or briefs? That sort of stuff. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if he'll answer, but hey, he'll be in here in just a minute.
Back by popular demand, the Dare Education Foundation Dueling Pianos signature event, presented by Town Bank, Friday, January 31st from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at 108 Budley in downtown Manio.
Dance the night away to the New York Dueling Pianos while supporting Dare County Schools.
With a live auction and buy it now auction, fantastic food, and tasty beverages, this is guaranteed to be the party to start the year off the right way.
Get your tickets now at dareeducationfoundation.org. All money raised goes back to our teachers and kids.
It's a ton of fun for a great cause on Friday, January 31st at the Dare Education Foundation's Dueling Piano signature event.
All right, sitting here with me today, man, really, if you frequent any of the local establishments that have live music, you probably already know this guy. You've heard me talk about him already. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jeremy Russell in here today. Woo-hoo!
Good morning.
Jeremy, how are you, dude?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, enjoying the new year. Spending lots of time with the family. Got some time off this time of year, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, I was like, man, I wonder how often he's actually like playing right now, but I didn't figure it was too terribly much.
It's weekends right now.
Weekends?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
the Christmas bars helped out too, having a few of those brunches there and having lots of crowds coming in and out.
Very nice. Very nice. Cool deal. Was 2024 good to you as far as like gigs and everything is concerned?
Banner year.
Banner
awesome
year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Band had a lot of gigs, lots of weddings, lots of parties, all the way around.
Beautiful.
That's everything.
Beautiful. Well, let's start from the beginning, man. Like, tell us a little bit about you, wife, kids, where you grew. I mean, you grew up here on the Outer Banks.
No,
you didn't grow up.
You
here
don't
on the
remember
Outer
this,
Banks.
Justin?
I don't remember. Wait a minute, dude. We went to school together.
Yeah,
but wait. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You moved here in high school?
I moved here in between my freshman and sophomore years.
Okay, that's right. Because I remember you and I met at Big Al Soda Fountain and Grill for the first time. Yes, we worked together for a little while. That's right.
That's right. And then we had weight training together.
Yes.
And you and Warren used to call me Pasquotang Petey.
Pasquotang Petey. Oh my gosh! Because yes,
I'm surprised you don't remember that.
You came from Elizabeth City.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right, Jeremy.
And you guys were wearing your big M's on your jackets, and I brought my
Yes.
big P because I had a big P from when I played. Played baseball or tennis or something
at Pasquotang, and when I was playing at Manio High School. That's right. That's right. So you move here from Pasquotang in 2000-ish, 2001-ish, in that time frame. Is that
like
accurate?
That. Yeah.
Okay, so with all that being, so you get here, graduate Manio High School. What did you do after you graduated high school?
I did a couple years at COA, and then went to East Carolina.
Went to East Carolina. Yeah. What did we major in? Music?
Theater arts first.
Okay.
Computer science second.
Okay.
And then business management with entrepreneurship.
Look at you. Yeah. Look at you. He's a man of many talents.
Switched it up. Flipped the script twice.
You know what? And I tell people all the time when, that are at that college age, I'm like, dude, it is not hurt for you to change your major or change your career path. That is the best time to do it. So,
yeah. The theater thing, I saw myself, it was going to be a hard way. So I didn't do that.
I got you.
And then the computer science was, it was more based on the software, and I like the hardware part.
I got you.
And then business management was just kind of like, that's everything. So let's do that.
Hey, that sounds like a winner to me. So have you always played music? Like, talk to me about that.
I think I've always kind of sang, around the house.
Okay.
And my parents would back me up on that for sure. My parents weren't allowed to sing in the car. And then I think I picked up a guitar and actively started playing when I was about 16 years old.
I got you.
Playing gigs when I was about 19.
Oh, okay. Okay. What was, so tell me, what was like your first gig? Do you remember that?
I think my first gig was at the Green Dolphin.
The Green Dolphin Pub, which is now known as Ortega's.
Right.
Wow. So, you're dating yourself there. Green Dolphin back in the day, now Ortega's in downtown Manio, dude.
Yeah, Ginger gave me the opportunity, and I had old
That's
old
rad.
amp, and stood in there, and it was awesome. You know, it's
Get a lot of
different.
tips that night. Do you remember?
I couldn't tell you.
Do you remember your set list? Do you remember any of that? Any songs?
It's probably lots of 90s alternative.
90s alt rock, of course, man. That was what was hot, baby. That was what was hot. So that was your first gig, and then after that, you realized you're like, you know what? I kind of like this. I want to keep going.
Yeah, I stayed on with the gigs. I went to East Carolina. I played some gigs out there on the weekends. It's hard for somebody who's getting started because you don't have at every bar that you play or venue. They want you to have 3 hours worth of music at least.
Oh, all right, okay.
And they also want you to have a sound system to be able to amplify yourself. And so those were both kind of hard to overcome. But through college, I was able to play some gigs and team up with a friend from Raleigh.
Okay.
And so we'd play little duo shows out there.
Now, you ended up in Raleigh for a little while, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I went to East Carolina in person for a couple years ish, and then my girlfriend at the time was in Raleigh at all girls college, and
Okay.
I just switched to online with East Carolina, and I ended up doing a lot better
Okay.
being an online student.
Online student. You did a lot better. And your girlfriend, what was her name?
Imogene.
Imogene Miles. Father named Lou Miles. Dr. Lou. Yes, I'm familiar with your wife. I'm familiar with her father. I was telling somebody just the other day, I was talking about having you in on the podcast, and I was like, I actually helped. We were neighbors for a little
Yeah,
while.
we were.
And I actually helped he and his wife move back here. Were y'all married? Y'all weren't married yet.
I don't think so.
Well, regardless, I helped y'all move back to the beach from Raleigh.
Yeah,
I was telling
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
that the other day. So now, did you play the gigs out in Raleigh while you were out there?
I did, yeah. That's a few more of cutting my teeth there.
Okay.
So had some regular places that I played there. I went to open mic every week. Ruckus open mic on Tuesday still goes on today.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's so you
Same
did
guy's still running it.
open mic every week,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Look at you, just kind of practice and
And I
fine
would
tune yourself.
Play there and I would shut it down.
Nice.
I would be there till 2 a.m. every Tuesday.
Daggone. Look at you. That's
Online
dedication.
student doesn't matter what time you're doing your homework.
Dang. So you went basically from like the minor leagues out there, and then you're like, you know what? I got to pack it up. I got to head home. It's time to go home. Join the major league music circuit here on the Outer Banks. And now
Almost.
now you're a headliner, baby. Now
Well, it was a little in between time. So when I came straight back from all through that time in East Carolina and Raleigh, or in Greenville and Raleigh, I was working on the boat in the summer times, working on the Crystal Dawn.
that's right, the Crystal Dawn. Yes.
And then after I graduated college, I came back and ran the boat for a couple years. So I'd had 5 or 6 years of mate experience, and then I took over the boat when I got out of college.
So
got my license and.
I can call you Captain.
Not anymore.
Jeremy?
I let it lapse.
You let it
go.
lapse? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at one point you were Captain
I had a big
Jeremy.
license. I had a big license when I was about 25.
Jeez,
26,
yes.
yeah.
I do believe I remember. I was working for the state at the time, and I used to ride across the Oregon Inlet Bridge, and I would see you out there with a group fishing. And on top of the cabin, you had something interesting painted, I believe. It said something like, "Honk if you love Captain Sexy."
That's right.
And I used to, would definitely, I loved Captain Sexy, and I would lay on that horn, just to let people know that, hey, that's Captain Sexy. So anyway, some fun stories. Like I said, just like I've said before, I've known Jeremy for a long time. So for me, this is
You're pulling out stuff I forgot about.
well, we were neighbors. We lived beside each other for a little while, and
Yeah.
I remember, I would come home and you would be getting off the boat. I'd be getting off work, and I would say, "Hey, did you hear this guy ride across the bridge?" And you'd be like, "Yeah, I heard somebody blew the horn." And I told people, "Yeah, I got it painted on top of this thing, honk if you love Captain Sexy," and that's stuck to me. So I remember that, man. Those are good times. Okay. So playing here, we're back on the beach. You've run in the Crystal Dawn, and next thing you know,
2 years of crazy monotony of sitting up in that wheelhouse. And
Yeah.
it's a long day out there.
now, did you ever sit up there and play for people while they were fishing? Just kind of
No.
no.
I was burnt out.
Okay,
But on the weekends, I would have a gig here and there.
okay.
and that was kind of like the saving grace for the long hours on the boat.
Okay, talk to me a little bit about some of those like earlier on gigs. Like where would you find yourself a lot of times on the weekends?
I'd play at Bass Nights and Port Richards, kind of around town.
Okay,
here in Mania. And then I guess opportunity. I was on the boat. I was tired. Wanted a raise. Didn't get the raise I wanted, so I moved on. So and this was while we had moved to the Keys for the winter with some friends, with Fishhead's friends.
Yes, okay.
And we did kind of our lease was up at our apartment we lived in, and we just kind of had no direction, didn't know what we were gonna do. But I was, at that point, got that call and was kind of like, well, guess I'm not on the boat anymore.
Right.
And I was like, well, maybe I'll play music now. And I was sitting beside Ryan in the Keys, and I said, hey, Ryan, you need somebody for a Tuesday or Wednesday night, next summer. And he said, yeah, man, you got it. So one night down a week. And then I had gotten calls previous years from Mulligan's. They had asked me if I wanted to play for the summer there. And so I called them right after, and they said, yeah, you can have, how's Thursday night? So 2 nights sat down a week all summer. So,
okay.
And then I ended up getting a few more. And then, so I had a full schedule of music every night.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, you kind of started out solo, acoustic style stuff, and then now tell me, who are the Generations? I hear Jeremy and the Generations, and for a while, okay, this is a lie, but I was going to say for a while I didn't know who that was, and come to find out it was you, but really I did know it was you and them. Right. But like, who are the Generations?
Well, the cast has changed since we started.
Okay,
and probably the reason why people don't hear much of us is because we play more private events.
Gotcha. Okay.
But the longest standing member is Tom Vinnick, Tommy V.
Tommy V. Okay.
He used to be in the band called the Paradox. It was two doctors.
The Paradox. Yeah, yes.
So, and he's the lead guitar and he sings as well.
Okay.
And then we have Bobby Soto.
Bobby Soto. Okay.
And he's the lead singer and guitar player of the Ramble. And other bands,
right?
But in the past, he plays bass and sings with me. So he's a better guitar player than me, but he plays bass.
Okay.
For the band. And then we have James Ulrich on the drums.
Okay.
And funny story about James is I met him at a birthday party. I think it was his daughter's birthday party, and we were invited because our sons are friends.
Okay.
And then so we were kind of hanging out, I don't really know anybody, didn't know him, but I was kind of in the house and looking around, and I came in this like sunroom, this long hallway kind of sunroom, and there's a drum kit at the very end, and I was like, that looks like a pretty nice drum kit, and I got really close to it, and I'm like, it's actually a really nice drum kit.
Okay.
And I was like, either this guy like has money or he knows how to play, or both, whatever. But
right.
He actually knows how to play. And then beside the drum set on the wall, there's like a gold record, and I was like, "What?
What is that?
Who is this guy?" And so I was looking at it, and it had his name on there, and it said for now that's what I call music.
Oh my gosh,
30
no
something. And you can look it up, but he was in some bands after high school, college age, and he was toured all over the country multiple times for a decade.
Okay.
And I think they just stumbled onto a Now CD.
Okay. That's pretty rad, though.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is a pretty rad accomplishment, for sure.
He's got some really cool stories, and he's got some good chops as well.
Nice. Very nice.
And okay. So we have, that's like the main 4 piece.
Gotcha.
And we kind of play around, and then we, and that's like the bar gig band,
right?
And we try to rock out as hard as we can at those bar gigs, but I feel like they're more practice for like the big events,
right? Okay.
And then we pull in Chris Sawin on the piano,
yes,
keyboard and vocals as well, and then we have Dave Kreiselman come down from Moyock, and he's a sax player, Army bandsman, taught clarinet. All branches.
Oh, dang.
He's like played with the Temptation. I mean, he's
wow.
We've never practiced together, and he played a ton of gigs, but he just jumps in. He just knows.
Dang.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
And then we had a female singer who sings all those higher female parts, and we do, the Dirty Dancing song.
Oh, of course, you got to.
And we do a Grease song,
Yes.
but she this year just retired. So
Okay.
we've got a couple female singers who we're working with. So
Okay.
to kind of fill in the
does
holes.
Emmy sing?
She does not.
She does not. Does she have any interest in singing? Like y'all could be,
No.
the husband-wife tandem type thing. No?
When I became captain on the Crystal Dawn, I needed a mate.
Yeah.
And she was working a job and kind of, making an okay salary, and she was out of college. And so I said, why don't you come work on the boat and you can make some cash and make some good money for a summer,
Right.
She ended up working both years on the boat with me. And I was
right.
the captain and she was the mate, and she did not like being my subordinate. And in general, does not like working with me. I don't think.
That's what
we make a great team. We got a great marriage. We've been together for freaking almost 20 years.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's why my wife said something like that to me not long ago too. She said there was a job posting for her at her work at Beach Realty up in Kitty Hawk, and I told her, I was like, "What if I apply for that?" She goes, "No." She goes, "Number one, you're not leaving what you're doing. Number two, I would kill you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "But what if I'm like your personal assistant?" And she was like, "No,
Yeah.
I would definitely kill you then." So yeah, I can kind of understand that. So where do you typically play? Like, where's some regular spots? What kind of music? Let's start there. Let's go back to that. What kind of music do you tend to gravitate toward the most when you're playing gigs? Like, what is your song list, your set list? A lot of them. What do they look like a lot of times?
I solo and band are very different.
Of course.
There's some overlap for sure. But I'd say solo, I try to know a song by everybody, to be honest. I mean, I have a list of songs, like 300 songs long, that I could probably just play. Mm-hmm. And then there's another 800 on my iPad that I can look up and kind of fake it my way through. Yeah. Most anything, if I've heard it enough, I can usually just play it. Right. Unless it's got some weird riff stuff in it that I have more intricate stuff but if it's just strumming chords, and I have a loop station, so I can, as long as I play it right one time, I'm good.
Now, a loop station, for people that may not be familiar with that term, is like you've got like foot pedals and a board that kind of, you can kind of set the beats and different things and do little things on a loop, on a repeat, correct? Is that an accurate
you hit
description?
record. You hit record on the one, and then you hit it again on, you hit repeat on the next one. So
okay, just because I know sometimes, like, I've watched you before, like with the loop station, like putting together something to play a song, and you'll kind of tap your guitar, the side of your guitar or something like that a couple times, and you hit the foot pedal, and then you'll go to the next one and strum something real quick, and then hit the foot pedal or whatever.
it just keeps overlapping and building on top of itself, pretty much.
Okay, I just was hoping that was kind of an accurate description.
But but in that solo set, there's everything really: country and classic rock and reggae and pop. I mean, hip hop, whatever.
What about with the band?
With the band, it's kind of the same idea. We just, as Bobby puts it, we play wedding bangers.
Wedding bangers.
Yeah.
That's you make me want to shout.
Yeah. We don't play that, but I would. But like September.
Right.
But then we play Love Shack when we have the,
of course, yeah.
Semi-Charmed Life. I mean, we're just kind of all over the board.
Semi-Charmed Life?
Yeah.
Shut up, man.
But, and it's, what's that? Don't Stop Me Now by Queen.
Yes.
Bobby rips that. Bobby's so good. But yeah, and when we first started the band, I didn't know what to call it. I was like, somebody said pound cake. I was like,
Pound cake.
I don't know about that. Somebody brought that name up. I was like, the Dad Bods. I thought that would be cool.
Dad Bods.
Okay. And then so we settled on the Generations, but that was when we started. We had a different drummer and a different bass player, and so our drummer was in his 20s. I was in my 30s. Bass player's in his 40s. Female singer, I think she was in her 50s, and our guitar player's in his 60s. So we're literally like the Generations.
That's true.
And then we also play music from like Run Around Sue to like Bruno Mars. Yeah,
right?
Like everything in between. So it's
all sides of the spectrum.
And then so it's kind of the Generations that way as well.
Yeah.
Now we're a little more homogenous, I guess.
Okay.
You know, we're like, they got like the three guys who are like mid 30s to mid 40s, and then the one old guy. And Tom would be okay with me saying that.
That's funny.
We get asked a lot if he's our dad, or like he's like, which one's your son? You know, we just all call him dad now.
I hear you. That's funny, man. So where can you typically be found in the summertime? man?
Sure. We have gigs already lined up for 2025. So
Nice. Okay.
I think we have Tuesday nights at Roadside and Duck.
Okay.
And that's with Dan Martyr playing the drums.
Oh, I love some Dan Martyr now.
And it's always different, you know what I mean? But he's always like in the pocket, you know, he's always playing. It's always tight, you know. And he sings too, so it's just keeps it fresh for us. When we're
Right.
playing.
Yeah.
Wednesday nights at Fish Heads.
Fish heads.
And that time kind of shifts through the season because, you know, of their crowd.
Right.
Usually May it's like 6 to 9. In the summer it's like 7 to 10 or 8 to 11.
Okay.
And then in the fall it's back 6 to 9 again.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
And then Thursday nights I've booked a solo weekly at Blue Moon.
Okay. Little solo gig
And
there.
I live right near there, so it's a quick commute for me.
Works out perfect.
And it's an earlier gig. It's like 5 to 8 or 5:30 to 8:30.
Okay.
And then the weekends are like we have Jack Brown's that we play with the band. We play at Poor Richard's with the band. We play at the wine shop right here next door.
Okay. Yep. New Vines.
Mm-hmm. We play there. Let me think of some other places. And then a lot of it's private events and weddings.
You do weddings. You do
House
specialty
weddings.
parties.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
all the above.
Very cool. Very cool. So if people wanted to book you, they could.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I
Now,
do that all the time.
Jeremy, having a big old party, man. I need you to show up, and I need you to show up and blow up, bro. How do I book you?
JeremyRussellMusic.com.
JeremyRussellMusic.com. Social media?
Yeah, at Jeremy Russell Music. Yeah.
Okay.
Or OBXPartyband.com.
OBXPartyband.com.
I have lots of .coms. For
Dude,
different things.
that's great though. That's the thing, and you can have them all redirected
Yeah,
to one
but
place.
all the contact forms go to one central CRM,
Very nice.
and that lets me answer emails quickly and get back to people. And everything's digital. I can send contracts,
right.
do the whole booking, everything all online.
Okay. JeremyRussellMusic.com or OBX Party Band. Is that right?
OBX Party Band.
.com. Okay.
And then the wedding. So that's like my solo is the Jeremy Russell Music. The band is the OBX Party Band. And then the whole wedding business is Outer Banks Wedding Entertainment.com.
Outer Banks Wedding Entertainment.com.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to make sure I list all of these URLs,
sure.
in the description of this podcast so people can find you, contact you. And of course, 90% of the places that you play are businesses that market with us at Outer Banks this week already and advertise, and we list their events. And that's why I was saying earlier on in this podcast, I was like, I've talked about the man already. Any event that or any place that he's playing at, I tend to make sure I'm like Fish Head. I'm like, hey, if you haven't heard Jeremy at Fish Heads on a Wednesday night, there's nothing like it, that sort of thing. So
the full calendar is on Jeremy Russell Music. You can see where I'm playing any night of the week. So other solo gigs are like Buffalo City Distillery.
Buffalo City Distillery. Okay. Buffalo City Distillery.
Buffalo City and Poor Richards and Lone Cedar. Among others. I've played at tons of places here. Even they got new names now, a new restaurant, but I played at the old one and the new one and the one before that one. So it's kind of been
they just pass your information off to the next person.
I guess. I think I just kind of knock on their door until they answer.
Okay. That's one way to do it. Now, you play the guitar, correct?
I do, yeah.
Okay, do you play anything else?
I play the ukulele.
Ukulele. Interesting.
I can fake on the bass.
Okay. you can kind of get it done.
It's the same thing. It's just knowing the different patterns and knowing the different scales.
Okay. Now, let me put you in a situation real quick.
Okay.
I'm at Fish Heads. Okay.
Yeah.
I've had me a couple beverages. Okay, you're up there
Sure.
jamming out. You just finish up a song, and I'm just thinking, man, like I'm gonna be that guy.
Oh, God.
And I go, Freebird. What does how would Jeremy Russell respond?
How much money you got?
How much money you got? Okay, yeah, all right. That's kind of what I expected you to say, because I know that I'd spoken with someone before when they were like, you want to hear it? It's $20 or something. You got to put $20 in that tip jar and I will play it or something. So,
Right.
how much money you got? Because that's and now
That kind of falls on some other ones too. You know, it's not just
not just Freebird.
Wagon Wheels. Probably the latest one.
Wagon Wheel. What about Sweet Caroline? No,
No,
maybe?
that's not such a pain. We play that song. We just don't play it often, so
I
it's
got
kind of
you.
not a.
Wagon
Yeah,
Wheel.
that's a big one.
Yeah. So if you go to a Jeremy Russell gig, don't yell Freebird and don't yell Wagon Wheel unless you got deep pockets.
Yeah.
Okay, good
Pretty
to know.
much.
Good to know. Now, does it happen? I mean, obviously Wagon Wheel happens often. Does Freebird, is there at least once a week? Do you hear that? Twice a week?
Freebird
maybe?
is every gig.
Every
Because somebody
gig,
just wants to do it.
Somebody
and,
wants to be that guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Or girl,
and then I
whatever.
just kind of start playing the chords of it and doing like a cat meow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's funny.
It sounds like it. I think.
It kind of does. I've never really thought about it like that. All right. Jeremy, I appreciate you coming in and hanging out, man. I've had a blast talking to you.
Yeah, man, it's been fun.
You know, for all the ladies out there, you know, boxers or briefs, man. All right. Don't answer.
No, I actually do have an answer.
You have an
for
answer.
Here.
Okay.
Okay.
Nothing.
I'm gonna put you on to something that you do. Probably don't. I don't know.
Oh,
You watch
Lord,
it.
here we go.
It's called a G. No, I'm just kidding. No. Have you ever? I'm sure you're on Instagram.
Yes.
Have you ever been targeted by Shinesty underwear? Have you ever seen that? Shine STY.
I don't believe so. I get targeted by male enhancement stuff. And it's like, dude, I'm good. Like, I promise you can ask
They
my
get me
wife.
with the
but-
hair. They're like, "Hey, are you losing your hair?" Okay.
No.
So Shinesty, get you a pair.
Okay. All right. I'm going to look this up now. You got me curious.
They have a.
Oh, dear God. Now I don't know if I want to. Now I'm going to really get targeted because
they're
we've talked
boxer
about it.
brief. They're boxer briefs. They're very soft.
Very soft.
And they have a special pocket.
Okay. Cool. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. Now, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you know, like with Frank Thomas and Eugenics, trust me, she'll like it too.
Yeah. She will like it.
Okay,
Yeah, sure.
all right. Hey, all right.
I'm telling you, man. They're like the. I swear by them.
I might have to look
They're
into
not cheap.
All right, we're going to have to wrap this thing up now, I can tell. We can go down so many different rabbit holes right now. Jeremy, hey, man, I really appreciate you coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Look forward to hearing you sometime this year if I can get out and about and figure out where you're going to be, which it's easy to do. Again, JeremyRussellMusic.com, OBXPartyBand.com, and Outer Banks Wedding Entertainment.com. 3 different avenues that you can find them. And you can also, again, we're known for our events at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. So you click on that events tab, and I'm guarantee you somewhere in each one of those days, you're going to see the name Jeremy Russell. I strongly suggest you investigate it further and go give him a listen, say hey to him, told him you heard about him here on the podcast and you heard him on the podcast, and just give him some love, man. This is a good dude sitting across from me. I can't say enough nice things about him. So
Thank you. Likewise, brother.
I appreciate you coming in and hanging out with me today.
Thank you.
Let's be real. No one wants to deal with nasty varmints like mice, roaches, creepy crawlies, and critters. Leave that work to the experts at Outer Banks Pest Control. Outer Banks Pest Control is the best on the beach when it comes to eradicating those unwanted creatures. They've been in business for over 25 years with well over 100 years of combined exterminating experience. Specializing in both commercial and residential properties, Outer Banks Pest Control has all the tools and equipment necessary to take on any pesky job. They pride themselves on top quality customer service and workmanship. Hey, if it ain't red and yellow, it's just some coattail riding fella. Outer Banks Pest Control, the best on the beach with a proven track record of excellence since the year 2000 and online at outerbanks-pestcontrol.com. Yes, Outer Banks Pest Control. I'll tell you what, they are fantastic people over there. We had a little bit of a rodent issue here at the Outer Banks This Week studios not long ago. There was a varmint that was scratching and clawing above my head. I thought it was a raccoon. I'm just saying, I called him. I was like, hey, Mandy over there. I said, Mandy, look, there's a raccoon or something above my head. Okay, something's doing some scratching around. Next thing you know, they've got somebody over here, and I believe they've trapped that rascal because I have not heard said raccoon or squirrel or whatever it was in quite some time. So I think they trapped him, relocated him to a nice home somewhere far, far away from here. So awesome stuff there. Wonderful people over at Outer Banks Pest Control. All right, we're going to jump into some events real quick. And again, all these events can be found online and more at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. As I always like to say, please support your local high school and middle school athletics, whether it be wrestling, basketball, swimming. Please show these kids love and support, whether they're in the school play, the band. Do it. Love on these kids, all right? Love on these kids. Let them know you love them and you support them. It's the best thing we can do for them. Trivia nights, live music across the board, karaoke nights are all over the place. I mean, trivia is really hot right now. My guy Greg Smurdell has got a really big thing going. You can go find him on Facebook and he can tell you where all the trivia is on the beach. Of course, I do one over at McGrath's Burger Shack every Wednesday starting at 6, and then I do one at Wanchese Marina starting at 6:30. Okay, so you can find me Wednesdays and Friday nights at Wednesdays at McGrath's Burger Shack in Nags Head and Wanchese Marina at 4457 Mill Landing Road, Wanchese. Yes, on Friday night starting at 6:30. Oh gosh, tickets for the Dare Education Foundation's Dueling Piano Signature event are still on sale. You can go online to dareeducationfoundation.org for more information on that. As I spoke on the trivia nights that I host, and again, Greg Smurdell, if you go find him on Facebook, Smurdell, Smrdel. That's how you spell his last name. Okay. You can see a posting of all the different trivia nights, where they are, Kitty Hawk, Killable Hills, Nags Head, all up and down the beach. Okay. And he will be glad to do it for you if you need it. So keep that in mind. Lots of fun, though. Trivia is always a good time. Oh, let's take a look at the website here at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. We're going to scroll through it a little bit. And of course, I'm going to throw my own couple in there that I am aware of as well. Coming up Friday the 10th, this coming Friday, January 10th, there's a group called 100 Proof. They're going to be playing over at Buffalo City Distillery in Point Harbor starting at 6 o'clock. That's just across the bridge in Currituck. Sounds like that would be a lot of fun. Coming up this Saturday, not seeing a whole lot crack-a-lacking on Saturday. Now and then there's a play going on at Theater of Dare. It's called Now and Then in Kitty Hawk, and that's going to start at 7:30 on Saturday evening. It's also happening on Friday at 7:30 as well. Sunday brunch at Fire Tender in Manteo. That's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sunday. So they invite you to come and have Sunday brunch with them. Steve Hauser is going to be playing over at Buffalo City Distillery on Sunday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. in Point Harbor. So some more things for you to do. Bingo night at Whalehead Brewery in Corolla starting at 6. Open mic night over at McGrath's Burger Shack. That's going to be starting at 6 o'clock as well that same night. What night is that? Oh, that's Monday night, January the 13th. Looking on down the line, Wednesday. Let's keep going. Wednesday night, of course, trivia night with me at McGrath's Burger Shack. They also have trivia over at Buffalo City Distillery that same evening starting at 6 o'clock. So, again, lots of activities, lots of things. Trivia night at New Vines on Thursday night. Trivia night at Outer Banks Brewing Station also on Thursday. Theirs starts a little bit later, though. Theirs starts at 9:30 at the Outer Banks Brewing Station. And at New Vines, it starts at 6:30. Keeping on going on down the line. So Saturday, they're having a Saturday, January 18th, they're having a Fab Flamingo. What is this? It's at Stripers in Manteo. Fab Flamingo Paint and Sip Party. Forget about winter. Grab your friends and join us for some painting fun with the Fab Flamingo. Tickets include all art supplies, a pre-drawn 12x6 canvas, and Happy Arts fun instructions. It's DIY, or you can also order a DIY art kit for the Fab Flamingo. That's a tongue twister. That's going to start at 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, January 18th. I do want you to be aware that also going on at Mania First Assembly is a benefit for the Brown family that I spoke of a few moments ago that lost their home in Wanchese to a fire. That's going to be going on from 11:30 until 3. It's barbecue plates. It's a drive-through style at Mania First Assembly. Barbecue plates, I think it's $15 a plate. All money, 100% of the money is going to go back to the Brown family. So that's something, a way you can give back. That's a way that you can give back to them and try to help them, okay? Go get a plate of barbecue. I know it's probably going to go fast. It's probably going to sell, so you need to be in line probably by like 11:15 to guarantee you're going to get a plate of barbecue. So that's something that I'm going to go try to participate in. It's something that I hope you will also participate in. Oh, gosh, let's see. Coming up on the 19th, not seeing too much. Look, go to OuterBanksThisWeek.com, click on the events tab, and you will see everything in its entirety right there, and you can find something to do. There's always something to do on the Outer Banks. I know that the Special Olympics is going to be doing their polar plunge coming up in February. There's also going to be a chili cook-off at McGrath's coming up in February as well. So with all that being said, there's lots of events, lots of things that you can do to participate here in the Outer Banks, on the Outer Banks in the winter time. So we're not shy of events. You just got to go and find them. You got to be willing to participate. All right. A lot of stuff there. A lot of stuff. All right. I don't know that I forgot anything. We're going to wrap this thing up. I do want to thank Jeremy for coming in and hanging out with me. That's my dude right there. Love him. Any chance I get an opportunity to hear him play, I like to hear him. If I show up somewhere and I see his name on the board, hey, entertainment provided by Jeremy Russell, I know it's going to be good entertainment. I know you're going to have fun. So just take it from me. He's a great dude, and you're going to have a great time playing with him, hanging out with him, talking with him. Personable guy, as you already could tell. So I don't have to go back through all that. You heard him. You know what he's like. It's a fun time. Next week, I'm going to try to get Mr. Joel back in here to talk about events coming up in 2025. I think when I talked to him, he said he could come in next week, so we're going to work on that. But Outer Banks This Week podcast, episode number 98, wrapping things up. I appreciate y'all for staying tuned in with me, hanging out with me week after week, and keeping up with all things going on up and down the beach here on the Outer Banks. So I'm going to head on out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your week, and I'll see you again next week. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Y'all take care now. Bye-bye.
This has been another epic edition of the Outer Banks This Week podcast. Follow us on social media and be sure to listen every Thursday for a new episode.